9 months ago, I graduated uni as a medical doctor. After spending 6 long years in uni, walking across that stage to collect my degree finally felt like I had gotten my happy ever after. But only a few weeks passed by before I started to get the feeling that maybe I was wrong. The fear of the unknown started to creep in, and the big question, what next, began to fully occupy my mind, coupled with the pressure from family who kind of expect you to have your life all figured out. It's truly a wild ride, which is why in this video I'm sharing the 10 biggest lessons I've learned in this messy first year. The truths that nobody tells you but might just save you a lot of stress. The fear of the unknown / the fear of uncertainty is such a bitch, especially when you're not going down the conventional path that is expected of you. If you're thinking of doing something unique, if you're thinking of taking a leap, basically, listen, that fear is going to haunt you. It is normal for you to feel that fear. It just shows that you're human and you're doing something that you haven't done before. Feel the fear, but don't let the fear control you. Don't let the fear keep you stuck. Don't let the fear keep you stationed within the box when your dreams and your desires are outside of the box. Still go ahead and take that leap of faith. The real world is a crazy place and nobody actually cares. Over time, I had to develop thick skin. If I am to compare where I am right now with 9 months ago when I graduated uni, oh baby, I have had to grow up. I had to learn to be a bit aggressive and advocate for myself and stand up for myself and protect myself where necessary. Most times, who you know matters more than what you know. Initially, I used to be obsessed at this. After reading more and after just hearing more renowned people speak, I realized that generally there is a currency that is almost just as powerful as the currency of money, and that is the currency of relationships. You should start now to begin to invest in building and nurturing and sustaining quality relationships over the years. It's a very powerful investment. Know your unfair advantage and use it recklessly. Do not be shy to use the cards that you have to your advantage, because the truth is that the world is not fair. You cannot continue to play fair in an unfair world. You will get last place, okay? And good girls don't get the corner office. Identify your uncommon advantage, okay? Okay, I'm considered conventionally pretty. Number 2, I'm a medical doctor. I'm not going to be in a place where a medical doctor is going to get an edge, maybe a job application or something, maybe in non-clinical healthcare, for instance, and as a doctor I get an edge and I'm going to just sit on the fact that I'm a doctor. I'm not going to do that. I'm so sorry. Best believe I'm going to use it, I'm going to maximize it, I'm going to milk it until there's nothing left to milk. That's exactly what other people are doing. Don't hate the players, it's just the game. So play the game and play it to your own advantage, okay? You must learn the principles of money management. And oh god, this one is such a pain in the ass. I'm like, is this really what adulting is about? What do you mean I have to have a budget, savings, investments, and all of that? The thing is, these are principles to grow your wealth. Another sad part about these things is that we are not necessarily taught in school how to be good stewards of our money. We're not exactly taught how to create a budget and actually stick to said budget. We are not taught how to delay gratification. We are not really taught about investments, except you're in the banking and finance and accountant career path. Me in healthcare, for instance, nobody taught me any of that. You have to actually take it upon yourself and actually be intentional about learning how to manage money. My money needs to have a plan and my money needs to be working for me, and yours should be working for you as well. Fear of being left behind is such a real thing. There's that tendency when you graduate uni to tend to compare yourself with your classmates. You see people moving ahead, starting jobs, even getting married, having kids, and there's that tendency to tend to compare yourself what am I even doing with my life? Am I sure I'm on the right track? Everybody seems to be progressing. Everybody seems to be getting ahead. It seems like nothing is happening for me. Comparison is really a thief of joy. And it's so important to remind yourself when you get these thoughts that everybody is walking based on a different timeline. Everybody's destiny is different. Everybody's timeline for success is different. And so long as you stay in your lane, you're staying within your purpose and you're working at fulfilling your purpose, there's no way what is meant for you would pass you by ever. There's no way that you stay the course and you do not get what it is that you really deserve. Remind yourself that there is really no hard and fast road to these things. People make it big in their 20s, people make it big in their 30s, people make it big in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s. Do your research. You have to keep reminding yourself that it's a journey, and actually the beauty of life itself is in the journey, not exactly in hitting those arbitrary milestones. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely consider subscribing to my channel, because I'm making more videos like this, documenting post-grad life and basically baby steps into adulthood as a young lady. The next thing I had to learn was how to decenter my parents' opinions. I have already begun that practice even before graduating uni, but even more so after graduating uni, I moved back home, so naturally I spent more time with my parents. And you just have to realize that, I'm an adult. That's number one. Number two, you have to realize that my parents want the best for me. I'm sure they do, but maybe their methods are not my methods, and that's okay. It's also okay for me to decide for myself and have autonomy over my own life choices. Face the fact that whatever consequences comes out of making certain decisions, I am going to bear those consequences. You have to let them know, and also let yourself know that I'm going to take responsibility over my life. I'm not saying like you shouldn't listen to advice and stuff, but at the end of the day, you know what you want to do, you know your own goals, you know what you're working towards, and there's certain advice you just have to listen and just shelve it somewhere. There's certain advice that you listen and you adapt, and it's up to you to use your discretion to know what to actually pursue and what not to pursue. You have to remind yourself that your parents have already lived their own lives, and now it is your turn to live your life. And you have to be really careful and intentional about falling into that trap of African parents living their lives or living their dreams through their kids. Don't be in a rush to move out. I know you just graduated uni, you're probably feeling like, yeah, I love the independence, get my own place. Like, eventually we all want to get to that point, but what I'm saying is, with the exception of those who are probably in abusive backgrounds, or you grew up in a violent or like toxic or abusive household, that's a totally different case entirely, and by all means you should definitely prioritize your mental and your physical health and well-being. But if you have the privilege to actually live at home, stay at home and stack your coins, basically. That favors here in Africa a lot, because we're typically not expected to move out of our homes so early. So we have that privilege, although it could also be a trap in the sense that you get too comfortable and you start to feel like, you actually have no, should I say, pressure or motivation to actually get your life together. Please don't. You have to be super clear about the life it is that you want to live. It is very dangerous to not decide. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you have to have some things figured out at least. Starting with what it is that you don't want can be a good guide to eventually arriving at that point where you know what it is that you want. I may not know what I want, but I know what I certainly do not want. And once I hold on to that, that already serves as a guide on certain things that I need to detach and disconnect from, that are not in alignment with what I have decided on. Do you understand? And there's a danger of not deciding. The danger of not deciding is that if you do not decide, life decides for you. And you likely will not like life's decision. You just be dilly-dallying, basically going with the flow, going with the vibes, and one day you wake up, you're 40-something years old, and you realize you've not really done anything with your life. It's not rocket science. It's not an accident. That is what happens when you do not decide. Use your faith as an anchor, man. Personally, in the little things I've seen in my few years of adulting, it is that you cannot really face this life with clear eyes, man. One of my friend's mentors, Dr. Emmanuel, will always say, you're either in the secret place or you're in the secret court. Either ways, you are using something. And it is so true. This life is too complex, too spiritual to just be coasting like that. You have to have that backing, you have to have that foundation, you have to have that covering, you have to be living for something that is bigger than yourself. I feel like that is the only way that it gets to make sense. Like, you have to be holding on to something. And me personally, I'm holding on to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ because I am a Christian. You have to have that core belief that is guiding you through life. I believe that one of the things that has really helped me in this last year was not setting crazy, unrealistic expectations of myself. And this is the bonus point. One of the dangers of this social media age that we're in currently is this hyper exposure to people's lives, or these outlier situations where people are making it big in their 20s. Over time, that warps our minds in the sense that we fail to understand that we're looking at isolated incidences. We take every single thing that happens on the internet at face value. In as much as online, it looks like the average 20-something-year-old has their life figured out, has your own apartment, has your own big girl job, is taking luxury trips multiple times in a year. We are not understanding that this is not the norm. There's just that tendency to want to compare yourself using these unrealistic standards off of social media and the content that we consume. Take for instance, Nigeria is literally the poverty capital of the world, man, and if you're earning at least 200,000 naira, you're considered to be amongst the top 1% of Nigerians. You know how fucking crazy that is. People are struggling, babes. And another thing too is that we fail to actually take into account the many different social, cultural, familial, even geographical factors that contributes to certain individuals' successes. We don't understand that we are not really starting on level ground. Some people already have all of these factors working in their favor for generations. They had no other choice than to succeed so soon, so early. And while person A may have those advantages to themselves, person B might not necessarily have those advantages. And logically speaking, it is stupid for person B to compare himself to person A, knowing fully well that person B does not have the advantages that person A has. Person B instead needs to focus on his own grind, stay in his lane, and understand that him and person A have completely different timelines and even different definitions of success. Okay? If you're in your first year of uni, calm down. You're doing fine. You're doing okay. I promise you're not behind, and it definitely does get better. At least I like to hope so, because I'm also in my first year post uni and I'm also figuring it out just like you. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.